Hey there, it's Serena and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz in the world of online entrepreneurship, content creation, and pretty much everywhere, and that's ChatGPT. If you haven't heard of ChatGPT before, don't worry, you're not alone, but trust me when I say it's a total game changer. In a nutshell, ChatGPT is a powerful language model that can generate human-like text based on the input it receives. Think of it like a really smart chatbot that can write pretty much anything. If you're around my age, you might remember on AIM, America Online Instant Messenger, there used to be a chatbot called Smarter Child that you could ask questions to. This is like the most extreme version of that because it's way smarter than Smarter Child. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm an old millennial, so let's leave it at that. But anyway, I have experience with a few AI writing programs. So I've been using Jasper, Copy AI, and even Canva Magic Write, which is new on Canva. I'll link all of those in the description if you want to check them out. They all have really nice features and they're good for different reasons. So if you'd like me to do a video about either of those, let me know in the comments. Now you're wondering, why do I care about ChatGPT? What's the big deal? Well, my friend, the possibilities are endless. From my experience, it can be used to generate social media content, write product descriptions, and ChatGPT can even help streamline your content generation process, and that can save you a ton of time and a ton of effort. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of using ChatGPT, let's take a step back and talk about what it is and how it works, and maybe that will help you understand a little bit more about why you should care. At its core, ChatGPT is powered by advanced technology called GPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That kind of sounds like a character from a movie, but it's a mouthful. But basically, it's a type of artificial intelligence that has been pre-trained on a massive amount of data to understand human language. And let me tell you, it's pretty good at it. So when you input text into ChatGPT, it uses this pre-trained knowledge to generate responses that are surprisingly human. I don't want to be dramatic, but it's pretty mind-blowing to me in my experience. Now, before you start thinking ChatGPT is going to take over the world, let me assure you, it's not that advanced yet. I'm not saying that it won't get there, but what it can do is give you an edge in your business by helping you create high quality content in a lot less time. So if you're ready to step your content game up and you want to learn how to use ChatGPT in your business, stick around. In the rest of this video, we'll cover everything you need to know to get started. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel where I share information about entrepreneurship all the time because I'm an entrepreneur and I want to help you be one too. First, let's get one thing straight. ChatGPT might sound like a really powerful tool, but it's not a substitute for good old-fashioned creativity and strategic thinking. If you're looking for a magic solution for all of your content woes, you might be disappointed. But if you're willing to put in a little bit of work and get used to using ChatGPT as a tool in your content creation arsenal, I guarantee you it will be worth it because it has been for me. And if you find this video helpful, I have a whole guidebook about this available right now. I'll link that below as well. So let's get into it. First of all, what is ChatGPT? Kind of give you an overview of it, but I want to get a deeper dive into what ChatGPT is and how it works. As I mentioned earlier, ChatGPT is a type of language model that uses machine learning to generate human-like text. But how exactly does it do that? Well, the magic of ChatGPT lies in its ability to learn from a vast amount of text data. This data can come from a variety of sources, such as books, websites, and social media platforms. By analyzing that data, ChatGPT was able to pick up patterns and relationships between words and phrases and use that knowledge to generate new text. This process is known as natural language generation. But here's the thing. ChatGPT is not a one-size-fits-all solution. There are actually several different versions of ChatGPT, and each is trained on a different data set and optimized for a specific task. For example, ChatGPT 2 is trained on a diverse range of internet text and is known for its ability to generate high quality, coherent text on a wide range of topics. Then there's ChatGPT 3, which is the latest and most advanced version of ChatGPT. ChatGPT 3 is trained on an even larger and more diverse data set than ChatGPT 2, and it can perform a wide range of tasks from language translation to writing computer code. Seriously. So depending on what you're using ChatGPT for, you may want to choose a specific version that's best suited for your needs. So here's the thing. ChatGPT isn't perfect, only I am. I'm not serious. It's incredibly impressive in its ability to generate human-like text, but it's not always accurate and reliable. So remember that when you're using it to generate content. In fact, one of the biggest challenges with using ChatGPT is ensuring that the text it generates is high quality and free of errors or biases. So to do this, you'll need to spend some time training ChatGPT on your specific data and fine-tuning its responses to ensure that they're accurate and aligned with your brand voice and your messaging. But don't worry, we'll get into the details of how to do that in a later section. And now that we've covered what ChatGPT is and how it works, let's dive into what it can actually do. The possibilities are really quite endless, but I'll share some examples to give you an idea of what's possible. First up is product descriptions. So writing compelling and informative product descriptions is essential for any online business, but it's also very time consuming and tedious. I have a website that's full of product descriptions. If you're interested, nuevalux.com, my jeweler brand. I had to write product descriptions for all of those pieces. And then all of my pieces on other platforms too. So that was a very long and tedious process. But with ChatGPT, you can generate product descriptions quickly, easily, and saving you time and ensuring that your descriptions are consistent and on brand. You can simply input basic information about your product, and ChatGPT will generate descriptions highlighting the key features and benefits. Now let's talk about social media content. As we all know, creating engaging and compelling social media content is necessary for any business, and it can be challenging to come up with fresh ideas regularly. As I'm sure you're aware, with ChatGPT, you can generate social media posts that are both creative and on brand. You can just put in some basic information about your brand and your target audience, and ChatGPT will generate posts tailored to your specific needs and objectives. You can even give it parameters like length of post and the voice of your brand. We'll get more into that later. Another area where ChatGPT is incredibly useful is creating chatbots. And chatbots are becoming increasingly popular for businesses of all sizes. I have chatbots on my website, my business of one. So it allows you to automate customer service and support, saving you time and resources. With ChatGPT, you can create chatbots that are not only functional, but also conversational and engaging. You can input some basic questions and responses, and ChatGPT will generate natural sounding dialogue that will make your customers feel heard and understood. But that is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to ChatGPT and what it can do. It can also be used to generate blog posts, emails, headlines, and even code. The possibilities are truly endless. I talked to a friend the other day who said she was writing macros with it. I don't miss doing that. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, ChatGPT isn't a magic one-size-fits-all solution. You'll still need to put some time and effort into ensuring that ChatGPT is coming up with accurate and reliable responses that are aligned with your product voice and messaging. But overall, ChatGPT is an incredibly powerful tool for online entrepreneurs like myself looking to streamline the content creation process and save time and resources. Overall, a key takeaway from ChatGPT is that it's a powerful tool that can help you streamline content creation and generate high quality, human-like text in less time. Now that we've covered what ChatGPT is and how it works, we'll move on to the next section, which is getting into the nitty-gritty of how to get started on ChatGPT. Here's how you access ChatGPT. But if you're not a programmer, don't worry. There are tools available to make it easy to use ChatGPT with no coding knowledge. There's a few different ways to access it, but the most common one is through OpenAI's website. I'll link that below as well. I access ChatGPT on my phone. I access it on my computer. And all of my chats remain in both when I'm logged in. And that's how I do it. One of these tools is called Hugging Face, which makes a user-generated interface for accessing ChatGPT. You just go to Hugging Face's website and it'll start generating text right away. So once you've accessed OpenAI, how do you actually input text and generate responses? It's actually really simple. All you need to do is provide ChatGPT with some context or prompts that can be a sentence, a paragraph, or even a longer piece of text. And then this context provides ChatGPT with information it needs to generate a response that's relevant and on topic. Once you've entered your context, you just press send and it starts running the command. And then depending on what tool you're using, ChatGPT will then generate a response. And that's based on the context that you provided. But the lengths of the responses can be adjusted depending on what you need. For example, if you want a shorter response for maybe a social media caption versus a longer response for a blog post or an article, just let ChatGPT know that, and it will generate a different length of response depending on your request. Some things that can be adjusted are settings, and these can be things like the number of responses generated and the temperature of the responses. I don't mean like hot and spicy, but the temperature setting determines how creative or risky the responses are. A higher temperature setting will result in a more unpredictable and surprising response, but a lower temperature setting will result in a safer and more predictable response. It's important to keep in mind that ChatGPT is incredibly powerful, but it's not perfect. Like I said, it's not like me. The responses it generates are not always accurate or relevant, and it's up to you to ensure that it's generating content that's aligned with your brand voice and your messaging and it's accurate, right? You'll need your eyes to do some work. One way to do this is to provide ChatGPT with the examples of the text that you've already created so it can learn from existing content. And when you're using ChatGPT to generate content, there are several settings that you can adjust to get better results. One of these settings is the length of the response, and then depending on your needs, you may want shorter or longer responses from ChatGPT. Like I said, social media caption will generate a shorter response, and then if you need a more in-depth response, just let ChatGPT know that. Or if it generates a short response, ask for a longer version of that, or if it generated a long version, ask for a truncated version of the previous response. It's really pretty incredible. But after your settings are adjusted, you can even ask for a different number of responses to be generated. And then depending on your use case, you may want to generate multiple responses and then just choose the best one, or ask it to combine a few of the responses to create one. For example, if you're creating responses for a chatbot, you may want to generate multiple responses and use them in a conversational flow. One of the more interesting settings was temperature, which I talked about earlier, and the temperature setting determines how creative or risky the responses are. A higher temperature will be a more unpredictable and creative and surprising response, and then a low temperature will just be a safe and predictable response. To get a better idea of how it works, let's say you're generating a response for a brand that sells ice cream, and if you set the temperature to low level, ChatGPT will generate responses like, "We have vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry flavors available." That seems pretty safe and predictable. Not very exciting and not very engaging. However, if you set the temperature higher, ChatGPT will generate responses like, "Our ice cream is so good, you'll forget your own name," or "Eating your ice cream is like taking a trip to paradise." Those are much more creative and more attention grabbing, but they may also be riskier and not aligned with your brand voice. So make sure you're telling ChatGPT what it is that you're actually looking for. The quality of your prompts impact the quality of the responses, at least So far in my experience, this has only been out for 3 months. I think I've used it for 100+ hours so far. So I'm pretty good at using it, but keep in mind, the more vague and open-ended your requests are, your responses are going to be pretty murky as well from ChatGPT. So experiment with the temperature settings and find the right balance for your brand. I kind of tell ChatGPT that I want bold or sassy, or I say, give it to me using the tone of voice of, and then I'll name like a more well-known person, maybe even a celebrity. You can say, give me a response in the style of Tony Robbins, for example. I think most people know who that is. That's why I said it. But there are several settings you can adjust in ChatGPT, and then also length of the responses and the number of responses generated can be adjusted, as well as the temperature of the responses. So just experiment with these, and you can have several chats going at the same time. For example, I have a chat about Nueva Lux for captions on social media. I have one for blog posts. I have one for emails. I can tell it, make this email more engaging, make this blah, blah, blah. So it will remember the history in the chat, so that helps it learn. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing, and we'll discuss the best practices for using ChatGPT more effectively. And this is what I've learned so far in my experience. So we're just going to take a deeper dive into how ChatGPT can be used for specific business needs, whether it's looking to generate product descriptions, create social media content, or develop chatbots. So some quick recap, some of the benefits of ChatGPT for business: saving time, improving efficiency, and generating high quality content. With its natural language processing capabilities, ChatGPT can help you automate many of your tedious and time-consuming tasks that you are very familiar with as an online business owner, that I am intimately familiar with. And thanks to ChatGPT, I've given myself a lot of time back. That's why I'm able to make this video for you. So let's get ready to talk about some of the ways ChatGPT can be used for specific business needs. Let's talk about generating product descriptions. As I kind of already touched on earlier, but that can be very time consuming, tedious, and exhausting when you have a ton of products like I do for my jewelry brand. I recently used ChatGPT to generate some descriptions for my jewelry. All I did was input my product features, materials, and the benefits into ChatGPT, told it that I wanted a response that sounded high-end and luxurious, and give me 3 options to choose from. And it did just that. Then I could choose the one that I felt fit best with my brand voice, or ask ChatGPT to combine a couple of them and keep going with that. You as the business owner could also take the response, tweak it, and apply it to your needs. I know currently Shopify now has a feature that can help you auto-generate product descriptions using AI. That's new. That I just learned about recently when I was adding a product to my website. But I love it for generating product descriptions. It comes up with things I wouldn't have been able to think of. And then once you've been chugging along, producing product descriptions for a while, you run out of words. And I've been there, so ChatGPT has definitely helped with that end. After you put in the details, you can adjust the settings, the brand voice, the number of responses, the length of the responses, and then the temperature of the responses, and get your creativity and originality in a way that fits best with your brand. Save yourself some time, and then you can keep that chat going, especially if it's a bunch of different product descriptions, or if you're doing a full new product line, keeping all of that into one chat. ChatGPT will remember what you've already talked about, so it makes giving new prompts easier because ChatGPT recalls what's been happening in the chat. It's not like every piece of input you give it is fresh. So you're kind of training it along as you continue going. I think it's valuable for product descriptions. Just make sure you have the settings and your brand voice set up and you're clear on what that's supposed to be, and you'll get some really good content. Speaking of content, let's talk about creating social media content. As we know, you have to be on social media as a business owner. It's kind of hard to get away from it, and it's a great way to connect with your audience and promote your brand, but it can be exhausting and time consuming and challenging, especially if you're not a natural writer or you're running a business by yourself and it's just another task that you have to do. So that's where ChatGPT can come in really handy because of its advanced natural language processing. ChatGPT can help generate social media quality content really easy, and that frees you up to do things with your time, other things with your time. Some examples of how I use ChatGPT so far is generating social media captions for Instagram and TikTok. Also, writing headlines for emails to my subscribers. I've even asked it to improve an email that I already wrote to make it more in line with my brand voice. And it's really good at these things. I feel like I'm getting better at using it, and it's learning more about what I want from it as I use it. So it's kind of like a learning curve for me and ChatGPT, but I definitely recommend you try it for these things. So to generate social media posts, just put your post prompt into the system and wait for the response. You can adjust the settings and generate multiple responses and adjust the length of the responses depending on your needs. It's just important to ensure the content generated by ChatGPT, again, aligns with your brand voice and is optimized to the specific social media platform. So here's some tips for achieving that. First, ensure the content is attention grabbing and tailored to your target audience. You always want to do that. And then use language that resonates with them, speaking to their pain points or their interests. Secondly, ensure your content is aligned with your brand voice and values, and that will help you build a consistent and recognizable brand identity across all your social media platforms, which is what you want to do. Finally, optimize the content to the specific platform that you're posting it on. Each platform has its own best practices and limitations, so make sure your content fits in with those parameters to maximize the engagement and the reach. I think we all kind of know that in the back of our heads, but you can ask ChatGPT to generate a blog post based on, for example, a new product offering. It can generate a blog post. You can say, great, generate an Instagram caption based on that blog post. It can do that. Then you could say, great, generate a script for a 15-second video based on that blog post. Great. So like you can take one piece of content and have ChatGPT tweak it to your different needs, which is really cool and very time saving. That's how I've been using it so far. So these are just some tips to keep in mind when you're using ChatGPT to create social media content. So far, I found it to generate pretty high quality and engaging content, but it's pretty cool. So let's talk about developing a chatbot. You might be thinking, I'm not a programmer and I'm not going to do that, but I'll just make this section really quick because I'm not a programmer either. But some of the benefits of using ChatGPT for chatbots is that it saves you time and effort. Instead of having to manually program each response, you can use ChatGPT to generate responses more quickly and easily. Here are a few examples of who can use GPT for chatbots. Customer support. You can use it to generate responses to common customer inquiries, support issues, or FAQs. If you're in sales, you can develop a chatbot to help customers find the products that they're looking for and then provide recommendations and answer questions about pricing and availability. If you want to use it for lead generation, you can use a chatbot that can save you time, right? Than going through forms or something like that. Supports chatbot development and integration with ChatGPT. Some popular platforms include BotStar, Dialogflow, and ManyChat. And then once you've chosen a platform, you can start building your chatbot by inputting prompts and generating responses with ChatGPT. And also customize ChatGPT's personality, tone, and language to align with your brand and customer needs. To make sure that your chatbot is effective, here are just a few tips to keep in mind. Number one, keep it simple and focused. Don't try to do too much with your chatbot. Instead, focus on providing a few features and services that would be valuable to your customers. Number two, test and iterate. Once you've built your chatbot, test it out with a small group of users and gather feedback. Use that feedback to improve the chatbot and refine it over time. Finally, you still need to provide human support. Even if you have a chatbot, it's important to provide customers with the option to speak to a human representative. You know how that is as a customer, especially if they need additional help or support, or your chatbot isn't trained to respond to what it is that they're looking for. I think it's a great tool for chatbots, but if you're not familiar with how to do that, you might want to leave that to a programmer to have them do that for you. But just keep in mind, building it on ChatGPT can make it a lot easier and faster. Let's talk about improving SEO. So we've already discussed a ton of ways ChatGPT can help you as an online business owner. We all know that search engine optimization is an important component of any online business strategy, and it determines how visible your website content is in search engine result pages, which can have a huge impact on your traffic and ultimately your sales, right? So one of the ways that ChatGPT can help with your SEO is by generating high quality content that includes relevant keywords and phrases. By inputting your target keywords, you can use ChatGPT to generate content that is optimized for search engines. That's nice, right? That's not all. It can also help you generate meta descriptions, which are those short blurbs that appear under the title in the search results. Meta descriptions are crucial because they provide a preview of what your website is about, and that can impact whether someone clicks through the site or not. So here's how you would use ChatGPT to generate meta descriptions. Start by inputting your target keywords and phrases, and then ask ChatGPT to generate a meta description. You can then select the best description that matches your brand voice and conveys the right message. I just did that on my last blog post, and it got way more views than my usual blog posts do. And like I said, I have experience with other AI writing softwares. And that's all I'm going to say about that until I get into another video about them. You can also generate topic clusters using ChatGPT. So input your target keywords and let ChatGPT generate related topics and subtopics, which is so great because sometimes your creative juices are not flowing and you need some help. And ChatGPT can help you close that gap. You can use those responses to generate content strategy that aligns with your business and then covers those aspects of your chosen topic. Finally, to ensure that your content is truly optimized for SEO, it's important to use ChatGPT to generate title tags. Title tags are those clickable headlines that appear in search engine results, and they can play a crucial role depending on someone will click through on your site or not. To generate title tags using ChatGPT, input your target keyword and ask ChatGPT to generate titles. You can then select the title that best aligns with your brand voice and effectively communicates the content on your page or on whatever your post is. So that's how you can use ChatGPT to improve your SEO. By generating high quality content, meta descriptions, topic clusters, and title tags, you can increase your visibility on search engine results pages and drive more traffic to your site. In the next section, we'll discuss some tips and tricks for getting the most out of ChatGPT. Let's talk about using ChatGPT to generate reports and analytics for your business. Ew, reports, we hate them. No, you love them. Even if you don't, you need to learn to love them or your business is not going to do well. As you already know, analyzing data is crucial for any business to make informed decisions and improve your strategies. And ChatGPT can assist you in generating reports and analytics by analyzing large amounts of data and providing you with valuable insights. For instance, if you have a customer support feedback survey, you can input the responses into ChatGPT to analyze the data and generate a report. ChatGPT can help you identify common themes in the responses, categorize the feedback, and even suggest potential solutions. That's pretty big, right? Another way you can use ChatGPT for generating reports is by analyzing website traffic. By inputting your website data into ChatGPT, it can provide you with insights on your most popular pages, how many visitors navigated to your site, and even suggest improvements to increase engagement and conversion rates. To demonstrate how to generate reports and analytics using ChatGPT, let's walk through an example of analyzing a customer feedback survey. First, input the survey responses into ChatGPT and select the length and number of responses you want to generate. ChatGPT will then analyze that data and then provide you with a report summarizing the feedback. From there, you can identify the common themes and areas for improvement. To ensure that your content is optimized for generating reports and analytics, it's important to make sure that your data input in ChatGPT is clean and organized, and that will help ChatGPT provide accurate insights and suggestions. So Using ChatGPT for generating reports and analytics can save you time and provide you with valuable insights that can improve your business strategies. So try it out for yourself and see how it can benefit you. Let me know if you've used ChatGPT for any of the things I've mentioned so far in this video. I know it's longer than usual, but hey, you could read the ebook if you want. You don't need to watch this. But I think ChatGPT is awesome and you need to learn about it. So let's get into common challenges and solutions that online entrepreneurs may face using ChatGPT and some ways you can overcome them. So one challenge you may encounter is the generation of low quality responses. Yuck, right? We don't want that. So ChatGPT is a powerful tool for generating text. The quality of the responses can vary, like I said, depending on the input and the settings. I mentioned that earlier. Your input impacts the output a lot. So if you find that you're not getting the results that you want, try adjusting the settings or increasing the length of the responses or adjusting the temperature, getting more creative, and giving ChatGPT more to work with. You may also try providing specific text input to help narrow down responses. Another challenge, I've come across this one a few times, is ensuring accuracy and authenticity in the responses. So ChatGPT is based on machine learning and it can sometimes generate responses that are inaccurate and not even in line with your brand voice. It happens, but to overcome this, you can try providing more specific input, providing keywords and phrases that align with your brand's voice, and then you can also review the responses carefully and just edit them to ensure they align with your brand voice and are accurate. You want to be putting accurate stuff out there, right? The more you use it, the better the responses are. And the better the input you will provide it because you have more experience with it. So you kind of have to fiddle around with it. I've used it for hours just comparing the responses between ChatGPT, Copy AI, Jasper, and Canva Magic Write just to see. And my inputs have a huge impact on the outputs. Now let's address some questions that you might have about using ChatGPT for business. Number one, how can you integrate ChatGPT into existing systems? ChatGPT is built on OpenAI's API. So you can access the API documentation and resources on OpenAI's website, and then you can learn about how to do it. There's also third-party tools that offer ChatGPT integration that we kind of already mentioned. So make sure you explore those options as well. Question number two, how can I ensure the accuracy and authenticity of the generated content? Your answer, it's important to remember that ChatGPT is a language model that generates responses based on the inputs received. So to ensure accuracy and authenticity, make sure you provide clear and specific prompts that align with your brand's voice and tone. And you can also use plagiarism tools and checkers to ensure that the generated content is actually unique and it's not just copied from other sources. We can go into how to do that in another video. If that interests you, let me know in the comments, but we don't want to make this video 2 hours long, right? So question number three, can ChatGPT be used for multilingual content generation? As a person that's trying to be multilingual right now, I thought this was important to answer. So yes, ChatGPT can be used for multilingual content generation. However, it's important to note that quality and accuracy may vary depending, again, on the language and training data available. So if you're looking to generate content in language that ChatGPT may not be familiar with, might be helpful to provide additional training data or seek out specialized language models. Question number four, is there a way to control the tone and style of the generated content? Yes. There are several ways you could control the tone and style of the generated content. Number one is adjust the temperature settings. This can impact the creativity and the variation in the responses. You can also provide specific guidelines and prompts to help guide the tone and style of the generated content. Additionally, some third-party tools offer more advanced controls for tone and style customization. Those are all the Q&As I thought of. If you have any more, drop them in the comments. Let me know. I could do another video about this if you would like. I've been playing a lot with ChatGPT. If you've enjoyed this video so far, make sure to like, comment. Have you used ChatGPT? Is this video helpful? Do you want me to talk about Jasper? Do you want me to talk about Copy AI? Do you want me to talk about Canva Magic Write? Let me know in the comments. You can help me decide what I'm going to do for my next video. Or I could just ask ChatGPT, but I'd rather ask you because you're a person. So hopefully those Q&As helped address some of the concerns you might have. As I mentioned earlier, I wrote a guide about using ChatGPT for online business. If you're a digital marketer, a content creator, a social media manager even, I think ChatGPT can be a big time saver for you. Check out my guidebook on Amazon. I will link it below. It's also available. You can also get to it from serenaalfaro.com. Right now, it's #1 in money and business short reads on Amazon. And it's #1 digital marketing on Kindle. So I think the people like it. I hope you do too. So let's wrap this up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We're going to get more into ways to streamline entrepreneurship. But that's the end. That's the crash course, I should say, on ChatGPT for business. And I hope you've learned something new and you're excited to start using this powerful tool to take your business to the next level. Again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. As a quick recap, what you've learned today just by watching a video on YouTube. First of all, pat yourself on the back. This wasn't just some stupid, boring thing. You actually learned something from this video. Cover the basics of what ChatGPT is, how to get started with it, and how it can be used for your specific business needs, such as generating product descriptions, creating social media content, developing chatbots, improving SEO, and generating reports and analytics. That's 5 freaking things that you can now save time doing as long as you put in the time and effort to learning how to use ChatGPT. We discussed some common challenges that you may encounter when using ChatGPT and provided solutions to them as well, so you can overcome them. So before you go, I want to remind you the best way to stay up to date with all of the latest videos and tutorials is to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any tips and tricks about entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Check out the links in the description. Have a good one.